Chapter 14 is going to cover the Einstein Analytics apps and templates. Now, this is very, very important. I cannot stress enough how much it's important to start with a templated app, or at least if your environment is Sales or Service Cloud, start with the Sales and Service app. This slide is a little bit outdated, but still it applies correct, which is, what I'm trying to say is, if I work with Sales Cloud, and someone approaches me and says, I need a dashboard about account white space analysis or sales activities or team win rate, etc. I know that the sales app have those dashboards. Now, my environment could be not highly customized. I install the sales app. It works actually out of the box, or I configure it a little bit. Worst case scenario, it is still customized. I'm using different objects, but I can still install the sales app, take a look at it as a blueprint, take a look at the data flows, take a look at the data sets created, take a look at the dashboards created, so I understand how to approach implementing something about the sales, especially from an analytics perspective. Similarly, Service app is available too, and you can install it and take a look at the metrics outside the box. Also, on top of those two major apps, we have a lot of templated apps, and these are smaller versions of the sales and services. For example, they might create a data set or two, a dashboard or two, but they are extremely helpful to jumpstart the project once we are dealing with stuff like pipeline analytics, fundraising, coding, social case, etc. Now, you can pause this screen and take a look at all of these videos. These videos were put by the PMs to help you understand each app, how to use it, how to install it. So it's definitely helpful, definitely productive, and it's good to look at these all the time. Some more: Snapshot, Change Analytics, Financial Advisor Analytics, Adoption Analytics with a full, I know this URL is probably big or long. I would actually encourage you just to search in the success community, and you will find one of our trailblazers, a customer, actually published a thorough post about how to install Adoption Analytics. Just to show you what we're talking about, and you can also go to this blog. It talks about templates and why we are pushing for templates. Overall, the push for Einstein Analytics apps and templates is something we're going to continue with. We're going to build on these because we believe these are the quickest value, the quickest way to get to production for the customers depending on their use case or the business use case. So we are going to show you this in the environment we've been using. I'm going to close the dashboard here for a bit. Let me save it just in case. When you go and create an app, previously we created a blank app, but if you hit the template, you are going to get the option of all of these templated apps. And again, they are very powerful. At least you can take a look, what is the data flow, what are the data sets created, so you can have an idea where to start from. For our exercise and for later exercise in the chapters coming in this series, we will need to install Sales app. So if you scroll down, you are going to see Sales Analytics. So click on this, hit continue. It's going to give you a little bit of overview. It's going to tell you the objects it needs, the kind of dashboards it's going to produce. This is one of the dashboards I say it's definitely a smart design. I've seen customers adopt this or customize it to their own, taking it as a template because it has the KPIs, the micro charts on top, and then it has these links on the bottom and makes it look like a web page rather than an actual dashboard. So we are going to hit continue. It's going to try to validate if the environment is good, meets the minimum requirements, etc. And this is a standard environment from a dev org, so definitely they're all standard fields, no problem there, and standard objects. Looks good. Next, it's going to ask you, do you want the basic or the custom? The custom is where you would go and configure it by which objects you include, which fields you are using, the questions, etc. I do encourage you to take a look at those. For our exercise, we are just going to hit the basic. We just want to look at the data sets later on, data flows, and the dashboards created. So hit the basic, looks good. Next, call it Sales App Test 1, for example, and you hit create. Now you are going to get this page. It's going to go create it. There's a lot of data sets to get created, the dashboard, etc. Let it run on its own. We're going to go back, revisit it in a future chapter to take a look at the things that got created. So again, I encourage you to try these apps. I want to talk about one more app that is definitely helpful. One is called the Snapshot app. And this snapshot analytics allow you actually to take snapshots of either existing data sets or directly from the Salesforce objects. So this is definitely something very helpful if you want to start trending data quickly. You just have EA and you want to start trending data. Definitely explore this analytics app, Snapshot. Whether you are snapshotting an existing data set, taking every day or every week or every month, or you are going to the Salesforce object, picking the first object, for example, account, and then what relates to it, and then another. So you get up to 3 levels of objects relating to it. With that, take a look at the Salesforce Analytics apps. Keep in mind the links, keep in mind the blog, and hope this helps you in the implementation phases.